Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is Tuesday, July 13th, 2021. My name is Aubrey and I am exceptionally looking forward to and excited to bring you your astrological outlook for the day today, because today is one of those days where we have just the most beautiful and amazing energetics, and it's not only about just this day. The activation this day will, as we move through next year and into the spring of 2022, become historically a very significant and important day as well. So let's get into the energetics and everything that we have going on today and what this really means for us and what we have to look forward to with these activations going into the future. So the big news today really is that Venus and Mars are coming into an exact conjunction at 19 degrees and 50 minutes of Leo. The Sabian symbol version of that degree would be 20 because we round up, and this is happening at 10 a.m. So the chart I'm looking at today for the energetics, the astrological energetics, is the 10 a.m. chart, because that is the time when the Venus-Mars conjunction will be exact. And Venus rules the feminine archetype, Mars rules the masculine archetype. With this activation, we have a joining, a fusing, a reintegration of the divine feminine and the divine masculine archetype going on individually within our psyches and extrapolating out collectively into the overall nature of what is going on and the experience that we're having in this unfolding blueprint of our reality. And this is a big energetic activation today. And it's very interesting because we recently had the new moon in Cancer. Check out my video. It will be linked in the description below. And the Sabian symbol for the degree where the sun and the moon conjoined for that new moon were a priest performing a marriage ceremony. And we know that this was specifically referencing the conjunction of Venus and Mars, the reintegration, the refusing of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And they are starting out on a journey today that is going to take us forward into, like I said, the spring of 2022 and culminate with humanity essentially rising into their own true power, back into their own authenticity, and finding the value and the passion and the skills within them to really conquer and overcome any type of external power source that we felt we needed up until this point and needed to sort of bow to because they were providing something that gave us security in some type of way. That is all going. And it's starting with this activation today. And so this is a really special day. Now, another interesting thing, Venus and Mars, yesterday, if you watched my video, they made a first conjunction at actually 19 degrees, the previous degree to where they're at now, but then Mars rapidly moved ahead and Venus catches up today for the exact activation at 20 degrees. But the degree yesterday of their conjunction at 19 degrees was a houseboat party. And so this is like their wedding reception or their like bridal pre-party for a wedding, whatever it's called. And today we have Venus, we have the sun today at 22 degrees of Cancer for this Venus-Mars conjunction today, discharging a young woman awaiting a sailboat. So that is clearly referencing Venus and her about to set off and embark on this mission, this journey that she's going on right now to essentially restore the internal value that we have for ourselves, restore our self-worth, restore our confidence and our faith in ourselves and our self-love, so that we can really begin to attract and create things of true, genuine value in our external environment. And that is how we are going to create our living, and we're going to do our work going forward. It's going to be from our heart instead of us molding ourselves to fit the box of what other people need for us in order to provide a successful life for ourselves. That way, that was the past, this is the future. And for this Venus-Mars conjunction today, with the sun coming to 22 degrees of Cancer, a young woman awaiting a sailboat, we know that Venus is setting out on her journey. And I really think it's cute too, because they were talking about being at a houseboat party yesterday. So it's a journey over the water, and that makes sense too, because we are now sailing into the age of Aquarius. We're not in the water, we are over the water, and we're in the air, and it's a sailboat. So the wind, the air, the age of Aquarius is moving us forward. And I just think that it's really a perfect description in terms of the sun's placement today about what's happening. Now let's talk about the Sabian symbol, or the energetic. One form of astrology I do, you guys, for those of you who are new to my channel, I look at what is called the Sabian symbols, and they are like energetic depictions, frequencies described in a picture form that help us to basically get a better grasp of the overall energetic nature of each and every one of the specific degrees of the zodiac. So I always look at the Sabian symbols when I'm looking at the aspects, because it gives us more information about the story that's unfolding. And I like to have as much information as I can when I'm interpreting astrology. So I use the Sabian symbols, and the degree where the activation of this Venus and Mars exact conjunction is occurring today is 20 degrees of Leo. And that degree is American Indians perform a ritual to the sun. And I just feel like it couldn't be more telling, and it couldn't be more perfect, and it is really setting us up and letting us know what is going on. The marriage of Venus and Mars in Leo. Leo is the sign ruled by the sun. This cycle brings back the light and takes down the darkness and the lord of the underworld. Now, what I was trying to describe yesterday, and I feel like I was like a little like not speaking super clearly, like I there was so much I wanted to say, but like my words weren't coming out that clearly. But really what's happening is Venus and Mars are conjoining, and then Venus is going to separate, and she's going to go like on her own path, and she'll have Mars trailing behind her, but she's going to come into a conjunction with Pluto, and then she's going to move forward, and then she's going to start her retrograde process, and she's going to retrograde and conjoin Pluto for a second time. And then Mars is going to catch back up to Venus, and together in conjunction, they are again going to go and meet with Pluto for the third time. And there is a big date coming up next year, and it is March 2nd of 2022. This is a huge day. This is a very significant chart, and this date will mark a point in history when we really begin to see the human soul, the human spirit, the human heart, the human passion, everything, all of the best qualities of the human being and what makes us unique, a unique species, and like gives us everything. We're going to be coming back into our power, and this is going to happen. The process will be complete on this day of March 2nd, 2022, when Venus and Mars come back together after Venus's retrograde process into an exact conjunction with Pluto. And also on that day, Mercury will be in an exact conjunction with Saturn. It will also be the new moon in Pisces that day, and it will be in a conjunction to both Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces. So that day is really like the beginning of our new life and our new world. From how I'm seeing it, it's when we formally have reunified and reunited the masculine and the feminine within us, and we are fully in our power, and we can no longer be controlled. We will not be submitting anymore, because we won't need to, because we will have realized that we have literally everything within us that we need to create the life for ourselves that we want, and we won't need anybody else to do it for us. That's the process that we're going on, and that is what is being initiated today with this activation, and the Sabian symbol is talking about it. American Indians perform a ritual to the sun. This is the marriage ceremony with Venus and Mars uniting the divine feminine, the divine masculine, reactivating and sending Venus on this mission. And this year has very much been about the dynamic between Venus and Pluto. Our love, our innocence, our beauty, our purity, our relationships, money, and resources, like pitted up against the control systems. And feeling like we don't have enough internal value, and therefore we have to submit to people or systems or controllers that we perceive as being more powerful to provide for us. That dynamic is in the process of shifting. I forgot to mention this in my video yesterday when I talked all about this Venus-Pluto dynamic. You can check my video from yesterday if you want to find out more about this generally. But another really good example of this energetic, just to kind of use an example that most people can understand, is this thing that's going on with Britney Spears right now. Actually, on the exact day of the Venus-Pluto opposition that we had recently, that was the day that Britney Spears testified about all of this abuse and all of this control, and basically her power being stripped from her, even though she's the one who has the value and she's the one that is performing and contributing, and essentially like her money, her resources, what she creates being used against her to overpower and dominate her. And this really came out into the public with when Venus was opposite Pluto. It was like a couple weeks ago, and on the new moon in Aries this year, we had Venus in an exact square to Pluto. So Venus and Pluto and that dynamic are extremely, extremely, extremely important and relevant themes this year, because we are all going on a journey to reacquaint ourselves with our true authentic value and our self-love. And once we are fully reintegrated in that process, we will not be needing these external power sources anymore to provide for us and give us security and give us what we should inherently have inside of us. We've been looking throughout the whole age of Pisces. We've been looking externally for power to, make us feel comfortable, make us feel whole, make us feel like our life has purpose. That is not the way it's going. It's flipping now. And it started with the new moon in Aries. We saw a big macrocosm episode of this with the Venus-Pluto opposition, with that whole Britney Spears saga, whether you were into pop culture or not. It's just a very, very good example of these energetics playing out. And we will move, and actually, it's so interesting. Venus will come into the third quarter square to Pluto right around the time that we have Uranus and Saturn coming back into exact square. And then, like I said, she will go through and conjunct Pluto, move beyond, go retrograde, conjunct him again, move back, and then Mars will catch up. They will move together, and this will be the shift. It's a big deal, and it's starting today. And we just have the most amazing energetics today. First of all, Venus and Mars together. This is love. This is passion. This is creative inspiration and energy. We should all be feeling really alive in whatever area of life this activation is happening for us. And if you're interested in where this is playing out in your chart, check out the video of my 12 sign readings for this week, which I have linked in the description below, because I say for each sign where this activation is happening for you, if you want an idea of where it's activating in your own chart. But generally, we are all getting a huge creative boost today of love, passion, inspiration, and really just kind of like, it's in Leo. We're kind of like on fire in terms of what we love, what we care about, what we're passionate about, and just very high energy. And this is just a really beautiful aspect. And the journey that it's taking us on is actually the most beautiful part of it. And that's why I'm talking about the future as I talk about this aspect, because I'm seeing where it's going. And it's just like the most miraculous thing to me. I'm just so excited like that this is the journey we're on. And Venus is setting out a young woman awaiting a sailboat, the Sabian symbol of the sun today, a journey by over water that is being controlled by the air, the sailboat, the Age of Aquarius, and this is where she's sailing to. And it's a ritual to the sun, and it's in Leo, and it's to the light, and we know it's about a return of the light. And so this is the overall nature of this aspect that we have going on today, and it is a big one. Now, the second thing that is just bolstering this even more, we have the moon in Virgo today, who will be forming an opposition to Jupiter retrograde in Pisces, and also a sextile to Mercury in Cancer, who is also in a trine to Jupiter in Pisces. This, alongside of our ignited inspiration and passion and heart-centered feelings today, this moon activation is bringing a new understanding and expanded levels of emotional awareness as well. And to bring it up a notch even higher, we also have the sun at 22 degrees of Cancer today, coming into a trine with Neptune retrograde at 24 degrees of Pisces. And let's see, what did I write about this? This aspect is great too. This really emphasizes actually what we have going on with the moon in opposition to Jupiter and aspect to Mercury today. The moon trining Neptune, this arouses inner idealism and gives a strong desire of a deeper and more spiritual, like to understand a deeper and more spiritual level of reality, both emotionally and intellectually. So with the sun and trine to Neptune, things are being uncovered with this because Neptune is retrograde as well. This is exposing things that have been hidden, especially relating to the past. Remember, we have had 3 squares from Mercury to Neptune retrograde, Mercury retrograde, Neptune retrograde. They've been in square. We have been in the process of clearing things up, figuring out what happened, and learning the truth. And this Sun trine Neptune today is bringing us much more of that and giving us a strong desire to have a deeper, more spiritual, more clear understanding of what has happened. And with Neptune retrograde, this is regarding things from the past that have been hidden from us, that have not been clear, that have been manipulated, and it is now time for the truth to come out. And with the moon opposing Jupiter in Pisces and Mercury in trine to Jupiter in Pisces, we are just getting the information. We are getting clarity. We are getting the perspective that we need. We're getting a much broader view of things. We're understanding from an intuitive level. Also, our intuition is like really super kicked on right now, and our ability to navigate reality based on what resonates with our higher self and what we feel is in alignment with our spirituality. That is also getting like a supercharge right now with all of these aspects and energetics. So this week, today it should be a day of revelations. It should be a day of awakening. It should be a day of understanding. Things should be clearing up, and we should really be feeling very strong and powerful inside of ourselves. We have the divine masculine Mars, the divine feminine Venus unified within us today, and this really is just, we have a sense of inner wholeness, a sense of inner integration. And in Leo, it's very passionate, it's very lively, it's very energetic, it's very fiery, optimistic, it's joyful, it's loyal, it wants to have fun, it wants to play. And in the context of having this moon activation today with Jupiter and Mercury, and also the sun with Neptune, we're finding things out, we're gaining clarity, and we're feeling inspired about it. We're feeling pretty good about the new direction of things today. And that's also interesting and beneficial because we also finally have the nodes, the north and the south node, changing degrees today. They have been at the previous degrees forever. During eclipse season every year, the nodes basically stop and hold those degrees for a really long time. And throughout the whole Mercury, the whole Gemini cycle, and all of this that we've had going on the past couple months, the North Node was at newly opened lands, offer the pioneer new experiences for opportunity. So we've really been pioneering and serving what's in front of us, our new reality, for our new opportunities, how we're going to build, how we're going to carry forward over this past couple months while we've been in this fog, and now we're in the process of gaining this clarity. But now, today, alongside of this Venus-Mars activation, alongside of this Moon, Jupiter, Mercury activation, this Sun, Neptune activation, we also have the nodes changing to 10 degrees of Gemini and Sagittarius. What are 10 degrees of Gemini and Sagittarius? Well, 10 degrees of Gemini is a plane performing a nosedive. 10 degrees of Sagittarius is a golden-haired goddess of opportunity. So when I hear of a plane performing a nosedive, your instant feeling might be like, oh, that's scary. But really, it's very much about overcoming physical limitations and the grit and the tenacity and courage and confidence and being able to perform impossible feats with like grace and style, and everyone's safe at the end. It's just a trick. It's a feat of courage, but it's something that's kind of miraculous, right? And with the South Node, North Node is our future path, our destiny, where our blueprint is trying to pull us and take us, so for our greatest soul evolution as a collective, or individually as well. The South Node is what we're very familiar with, what we have a lot of experience in, what we need to release and let go of and move on from, so that we can go through this evolutionary process that the North Node is taking us on. And the South Node, a golden-haired goddess of opportunity. When I think of these two things together in the context of the fact of the other energetic activations going on today, to me, this says releasing the past brings golden opportunity, kind of like the light of the sun, right? To create and manifest, Venus and Mars, things we previously thought of as difficult, dangerous, or impossible, a plane performing a nosedive. We now have the opportunity to create miracles, a plane performing a nosedive, and surviving in our lives if we have the grit, courage, confidence, and tenacity to take risks, to take the plunge, and to just jump. I feel like that is what these Sabians are telling us with the North Node moving degrees, the North and the South Node moving degrees today. It's like, if we can release the past, if we can see at this point in time with our new gained clarity, our new perspective, our new understanding based on the truths that have been uncovered and are being uncovered through this process of awakening and revelations that we're going through, and just genuine perspective shifts. If we can shift our perspective and release the past belief systems and what we've held onto that has not necessarily been benefiting us and is not necessarily the way that we want to go forward, we are going to have these golden opportunities. And if we can find the courage and the grit and the tenacity and the confidence within ourselves to just jump and to just do it, we're going to have opportunities, and they're going to be blessed opportunities. And this is the direction that the blueprint wants to take us going forward. Yes. Is it a risk? Yes. Is it kind of scary? Yes. But the South Node is telling us it is a golden opportunity if we can release our fear, release our past belief systems, and embrace the opportunity that we have now to take the plunge, and it could produce really amazing, unexpected, and positive results for us going forward. And really, this is what universe wants us to do. It's all about finding our personal power, our confidence, the value that we have in ourselves, and relying on ourselves to create our own reality and to be the masters of our own reality. And that is how we liberate ourselves in this process. Now, another thing that we have going on today, and this plays all right into the energetics. The sun, both the sun and the Venus-Mars conjunction today are in aspect to the Eris point. And if you watched my video from yesterday, I talked about the Eris point, and the Eris point is really like the ultimate in the break the chains, liberation at any cost, trying to free us from anything and everything that enslaves us without a care for basically the consequences. That is the Eris archetype, the Eris dynamic. And we have the Eris point in very close aspect to the Venus and Mars conjunction. That is at 20 degrees of Leo. The Eris point is 21 degrees of Aries, both fire signs. It is a 1 degree orb trine, almost exact to the Eris point. And the sun today at 22 degrees of Cancer, a cardinal sign. Aries is the Eris point is 21 degrees of Aries, a cardinal sign. They are in a 1 degree orb square. So the Eris point is very, very, very highlighted and activated by both of these energetics today. And to me, it's saying, it's like a cause and effect sort of thing, but they're playing out together. And it's like the more we learn and connect and gain this awareness with these Moon, Jupiter, Mercury, Sun, Neptune aspects that we have today in congruence, in conjunction with this Venus-Mars conjunction as well, The more we gain this awareness, the more we gain a sense of internal value and self-love. The more we begin to resist external domination, and the less we feel that we need those external power sources. The more likely we are, as we come into our own internal power, to throw off anything that we feel like we don't need anymore and that's holding us back or hindering us or controlling our personal self-expression or using our own value, our own creativity, our own love against us to enslave us in any type of a way. It's like the more we have this, the more we begin to resist external domination, and the less we feel like we need to be in these power dynamics at all. The more self-reliant we become, and this is what we are doing through this process of the integration of the divine masculine and the divine feminine within us. The more that we become self-reliant, the less we are willing to bend the knee. And this theme is being activated this week moving forward, like I said, through March of 2022, when we will be standing, all of us individually. I mean, it's happening in our psyche. It's not really something that we can control. And honestly, with the Venus and Mars conjunction in a trine to the Eris point, trines make things happen. They just happen. You don't have to try. It's like cause and effect. Like I said, it's like as a result of this conjunction in trine to the Eris point, we are breaking the chains. We are throwing off everything that enslaves us. We are finding ultimate liberation, but it's through this reunification and this wholeness and this integration that we're coming into on an internal level. That is what's causing it, but we see it as a whole picture all together. But it's just the intertwined like mashings. This is how they work together. And so we have everything that we need, and we will discover this more and more as we go forward, to support ourselves inside of us now. And with Venus and Mars together, like I said, this integration, this wholeness, this is where we are going to get our power. And it will also extrapolate into like the family unit becoming much more powerful over the course of this period of time. And it's almost like I almost see it, as like the family unit and the wholly reintegrated individual no longer tolerating, because there's no need for it, these control power structure dynamics, just not needing it anymore, because we become so self-reliant, because we are like now functioning as wholly integrated individuals in our psyches, and that's manifesting outward, and our relationships are stronger and more solid because of this process that we've gone through too, making our family units more stronger, making us even less susceptible to needing any type of external support from a controller or an authority in some type of way. We're becoming our own authorities and the masters of our own experiences through this process. And it's going to change our perceptions and our perspectives of ourselves and our relationships and others going forward. And this is going to change a lot about the dynamic of the way everything works in our world, all around the world. And this is what's bringing the Age of Aquarius. This is the Great Awakening. This is how the transition happens. This is what the Age of Aquarius will look like and how it will come into being. And I'm telling you, I've been saying this like all year. I've seen it happen time and time and time again. Only relationships, partnerships, situations based in true authenticity will survive this transit. We will, nothing, especially now that Venus and Mars are together and moving through Leo, and Venus is setting out on her mission today on her sailboat. Nothing that is, especially relationships, Venus and Mars, that are out of alignment with authenticity, they're just not going to make it through. They're not going to make it through. And we should see it as a good thing, because this is liberating us and bringing us back into our own true, integrated, authentic power. We will get a gauge on this, though, you guys, as we move further forward into this week, because the sun is going to be coming into an opposition with Pluto in a couple days. This is Pluto. This is that power and control dynamic. This is that oppressive force. This is that force that takes what we have inside of us and uses it against us if we are not confident in those things in ourselves, okay? We will get a gauge on how we are doing in this process when the sun comes into opposition with Pluto this week, and we begin to experience these power struggles manifesting in different areas of our life between what is truly best for us and changes we want to make and how we want to care for ourselves, and how we feel we're being exerted upon by some type of external situation, individual relationship, financial, whatever, that is impeding our ability to do what we truly want, to take care of ourselves and do what's in our best interest. So we will understand as we move through the week and we get this Sun-Pluto opposition, we will feel this power struggle. But again, I see it all as like this cause and effect type of stuff. We've had this Eris point activation all week, and we also have this Venus and Mars, and we've also had Venus and Mars in square to Uranus in opposition to Saturn. And it's like, we have been through so much, and so much has been happening to like throw everything up in the air and really get us to align and to look at what we have inside and start cultivating our value within us. I feel like this is what is causing these power struggles. We're going through these changes. These experiences are changing us, and it's changing our ability to tolerate and to relate to these external power sources that we may have not even realized were existing our entire lives, but now all of a sudden we feel it very strongly. And I think that it is just an outcome of these big changes that are happening individually and collectively to bring us back into a proper understanding of our true value as individuals within each of us. So that's really what I have for the energetics for today, you guys. It is a huge, important and significant day astrologically. We should all be feeling really good, really inspired, really creative, really attractive, and also, maybe have the urge to mingle with some people of the opposite sex today as well. Very magnetic, very attractive energy, especially if you're a Leo or an Aquarius ascendant and this is happening on your, or Leo Aquarius generally, and this is happening with either your personal planets or on your ascendant or descendant axis. Super magnetic, you guys. And yeah, just tons of truth, tons of awakening, tons of awareness, tons of, emotional awareness, expanded emotional awareness coming with this, and also a desire to get to the bottom of things, to see the truth. And the sort of like the harsher truths, like the cognitive dissonance and like the more difficulty surrounding the truth is not there with this energetic today. This is a much more inspired perspective and a much more loving perspective and charismatic and like looking forward to the future. And we should be, because we are going on a journey through the underworld for sure. It is not going to be easy. This journey that Venus is taking is not going to be easy, especially with all of the Chiron themes that we experienced with the new moon, the hero's journey. Venus is going on that hero's journey, but we know how it ends. We know the outcome, and the outcome is Venus and Mars standing together with Pluto on the new moon in Pisces, with Neptune and Jupiter in conjunction. And it just is going to be the shift occurring at that point in time. So thank you guys so much for watching my video. This was a really fun report for me to do because the energetics are just so awesome today. If you guys liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think they would be interested. If you're on Facebook, come over to Facebook and like my page for Aubrey Starr's Astrology. I would really appreciate that. And leave me comments, you guys. I absolutely love your comments. I love like your contributions. I love when you give me data about what's going on with your life to help me like validate the different energetics that are going on. That's really cool. And tune in tomorrow, you guys, for my astrological outlook of the day. And like I said, if you want to know how these energetics are affecting you specifically, check out the video I did for this week for all the 12 sign readings. Just find your sign in the description box and it will talk about how this activation is happening for you. So I will see you guys back here tomorrow for my astrological outlook of the day. Bye, guys.